first one's about Twitter replies. I'm guessing that for a lot of people in the audience, this will be a little bit of something you're already familiar with, and you might already get the way this works. But I'm often surprised how many people don't really understand the way replies work. So I wanted to run through that really quickly. Okay. So can anyone tell me, like, when you see an @reply versus a DM, like, what's the difference? Anybody? It's not a trick question.
One is public versus private, depending on where the @ is.
So one's public and one's private. So if you add it, it's going to show up in search results and be public, and if you DM, it's going directly to them. And then anything else?
I can @reply anyone, but I can only direct message people who follow.
True.
I follow.
Right? And people get notified different ways. You might get notified of a direct message different than you would the others. So those are all good examples. Another difference is, so a lot of times an @message really, when you send it out, a lot of people send it thinking that everyone that follows them is going to see it. And actually, most of the time, almost nobody sees it. Unless a lot of people follow you and a lot of people follow the person that you're tweeting about. And that's the little distinction that I wanted to go over real quickly. This is a copy of our Twitter page, and you can see a lot of the things that we're sending start with @replies. And yet, most of the people that are following us aren't seeing all these. And so I have a couple little examples and very simple Venn diagrams to kind of show how it works. So this is a tweet that I just sent, or I've sent by myself, and I didn't @anybody, right? And so of all the people on Twitter who can see it, not everybody sees it unless they're like searching for me or something. That just goes to like the people that follow me. So that's the orange circle or my followers, right? So then if I mention somebody in the tweet, then it goes to everybody that follows me, and it goes to just that one person, right? So it's like the whole big circle of everyone that follows me sees it because they see everything I tweet that starts with a word, and then just that one person, it shows up in their timeline, and they get to see it. And so if you mention somebody, they find out about it. But here's the interesting one: when you @reply somebody, and you start with their Twitter handle, then what you get is just the overlap of the people that see it. So not all my followers see it, and not all the people that follow that person see it, but just the people that follow both of us. And that's a distinction I think a lot of people miss out on. And it's really key, and it really, I think, is one of the things that makes Twitter really work well and be very social and be very conversationalist. If it didn't work this way, then lots of people would only see half a conversation. So if you were following me and not the person I was talking to, then you'd see me ask them a question, but you wouldn't see them respond. And then you might see me answer them again, and you'd be seeing this like half a conversation. It'd be really confusing. And so in this case, it's just going to go to the people that follow both of us. And if a lot of times that's nobody, a lot of times it ends up going to one person, the person that you're replying to. And so what that really leads to, which is what we'll play into the next part, is that you can do that a lot and not have to feel like you're spamming people or sending them lots of tweets. That's kind of where retweet came from. Retweet grew organically, and the reason why people put RT in front of it is to make it show up for everybody that's following them. Because if they just hit reply and tweeted it, it would just go to that one person. But by putting the retweet in front of it, that makes it go to everybody in my circle. And that's the way that evolved. And then here is this is the super test complicated one. This test, that was just in there, Michelle. I don't know. This is an old deck. But so this is going to go only to the people that follow me and Michelle, which Michelle's got a couple thousand followers. I haven't looked lately. I'm guessing a couple thousand. I've got a couple thousand followers. So there's probably a bunch of people in Austin that follow both of us that would see both that. And then it's going to go to Hoon, who's sitting up here, and to fake followers. They're just going to see it because they were mentioned. But it's still just that overlap. It's not going to a ton of people. It's going to the people that follow both of us and the two people that we mentioned. So that's most of it. I got a couple more slides, but I think it's a really important distinction to make. I hope that wasn't too repetitive and that you didn't, if you already understood that. But I find a lot of people, I'm surprised, don't really get the way that works, and that's going to play a lot into some of the suggestions I'm going to give for how you talk to your customers. This is CodeTweet, which is a tool that I'm a fan of. There's other tools like this, but one of the reasons I really like CodeTweet is it basically makes an inbox of the people that have responded. It makes it easy to see just the replies and just the things that you need to respond to. And so typically all I'm doing in CodeTweet is sending out replies. and making sure that we follow up to everybody that tweets to us. So what's the lesson from all this? It's reply as much as you want to. And because when you can reply all day long and only a small number of people are going to see it. And if I'm replying to all kinds of different people, chances are each of them is only seeing that one, or maybe they're seeing two of them, but they're not seeing all the ones that we sent. And so in this case, I think this was, I'd won an award or something, and all these people were saying thanks to me, and I wanted to be there and to be responsive to the people that were being nice to me, and so I'd write back to each one and say thanks. And if you looked at my page, at my Twitter page, it looked like I was saying this over and over again, the same thing. And if that was what you were seeing in my feed, that'd probably be really annoying. But most people didn't see that. Most people just saw one or two things. Or they might see a thanks to them and a thanks to maybe another one of their friends who they follow and follows me, in which case it's kind of relevant because they're like, oh, look, he thanked my friend too, right? But they don't see all of it. And so as you're doing this for for your own account or for a business account, you can. I know when I'm managing my account, I try not to send too many tweets in one day or too many tweets too quickly. But this allows, when you're doing replies, you can really kind of let it all go and just respond to anything you want to, because chances are a very small number of people are going to see it. And so the last thing I'll leave you with is a quote, which I have at the end of the next part as well, but it applies here, and that is, all you have to do is write back to somebody when they write to you, and people really appreciate that. It's, the people that follow you and whatnot. And a lot of times, if it's just, you can just say thanks, you can just say something else. But people, they know that you're reading their tweets and that that they retweeted you or they said something to you or whatnot. And it means a lot to people. It gets you a lot more interaction, and it's not you can do it in such a way where you're not spamming